Howdy to you, whatever time of day it is while you're catching this. It's morning for me, and this is day 8 of our May mood lift and shift. And I certainly hope that you're getting some ideas out of this, even some reminders of how you can use some of the things you already know that you love as ways to help you reconnect, help you tune yourself, help you manage your energy. And what we're doing in this program is really looking at how these practices can help with mood and mind and mental health. So it's been really exciting for me to allow this through. So thank you. And I'm doing this on Facebook through our It's the Yoga group, and then on Instagram live here, and then you find it in my story. So really easy for me to just let it through, give it to you, my current understanding, use, excitement of these things as a yoga therapist in the world. And I've been using these practices, perspectives, and psychology with myself and others that I get to work with of all ages. I'm so thankful to say, for almost 20 years now. So I'm really thankful to be in the place where I could bring this through for you. And even especially as I came to yoga as a psychology person. I had just finished graduate school in psychology right before I really found yoga, and then realized I wanted to learn to teach yoga. So I got to go through my first year-long teacher training almost 20 years ago. So it's evolved continually, and it's one of those worlds and schools of philosophy and study that's about always learning and always growing, and I love that. So welcome from wherever you're at in your learning and growing and study and understanding of things like yoga and meditation. So yoga, remember, really that word just means union, join, connect, yoke. So we really get reminded to remember that, that yoga can involve exercises or poses if you want, but it doesn't have to. And then I would vote for, if you're going to use the poses and exercises that you might use as part of your yoga, that you use poses and exercises that work for you and your body and do help you reconnect and even get into more of a sense of harmony and alignment. Even if that does include challenge for you. But yes, so I love to really share that yoga can be a lot different, even on the mat, than we think, and the more we personalize it, the better. But also that yoga is just connection. So any practices, any perspectives, any psychology that's part of our more connected feelings, our more connected lifestyle, that is what I love to share, is what I see yoga is. So we can start to see that it's about building a life and a lifestyle that's more about connection, but that's best when you let it be unique and personalized. So really tune in, tap into what does that for you. So that's why I love to share more and more the variety of tools that I'm seeing are part of yoga and meditation and possibilities, so that you can pick and choose and try and hone what works for you. So today's tool is a huge one for me, and it's been in my life for more than these last 20 years. And it's even taken me a while to see that it's a form of yoga and meditation. And that is journaling, the power of coming to the page. And first of all, it could be, of course, by hand is one mode and has its own energy and connecting elements for us. So that a lot of teachers might say is the preferred method when we're talking about journaling, any sort of writing that's more expressive is part of what we might call more just like journaling versus trying to like write something for someone else to understand or to try to, yeah, make it at all about proving a point or creating anything, but more just expression, right? Like just expression on the page. So yeah, but you could do it, sure, in a computer form too, if that's really your preferred mode, then of course, personalize that. But for me, to really find and just notice and work with and use journaling in its many ways over these years has become and still is a huge part of my yoga and meditation life. And I really love to share that with you, that you, especially if you already know you've liked adding something like this in your life, then you can see maybe even more why. If you've never had journaling in your life, and if you even feel a little resistance to it, you know, and again, it may not be a tool for you, but sometimes that resistance is because it can be such a therapy and such a place where we do wind up kind of facing ourselves and looking at what's happening and dropping into some of the things that we get to do with these practices that isn't always comfortable, right? But it's a great way to do it. So I'm really just wanting to share that journaling as a form of connection, let's talk about how and why, and journaling as a form of energy medicine, and how and why, and journaling as a form of aligning more even with who we are, as a way to get guidance, as a way to tap into our intuition, as a way to transmute and transform things, feelings, situations, even relationships. And then journaling also as a like alchemical tool that magically helps us create more of what we do want and even manifest a lot more powerfully and again in the direction that we do want. So yeah, to see that anytime we take it to the page, there's some amazing medicine happening for us. And it's a therapy that we're getting to do to ourselves, for ourselves. And, you know, I like it more like every day. So, one of the ways that I've been journaling, which maybe we'll just talk about some of the power of this form, and this is one idea for you that I got from Julia Cameron, who wrote The Artist Way and a whole bunch of books after that. That's a lot about tapping into our flow, our creativity, our passion, our purpose, but also just reconnecting with ourselves and even a more spiritual feeling, if we like that, as part of our process and lifestyle and even like a way of life. So I was reading The Artist Way on my honeymoon 20 plus years ago and started doing these morning pages that she prescribes as one of her tools. So morning pages is one idea that you could try just sitting with your journal, pad of paper. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you certainly can make it a beautiful journal. And then you give yourself the invitation to just write for 3 pages and just whatever comes out, whatever comes through, just letting yourself write about, talk about, think about, let out, whatever comes through. And really the invitation is to just make it about keeping your hand going. And part of the fun of that, in what she proposes as a super active artist herself, is that partly helps you learn to just like keep your hand going when you are doing other projects too, to just get more in that flow of, you know, versus kind of the opposite of writer's block, right? So you intentionally just kind of aim to keep the hand going for the 3 pages straight. And there's multiple things going on here we can start to see. So one of the things she would say, because sometimes we might be like, why do we want to write if I'm writing like, oh, I'm still pissed off about that thing from yesterday, and oh yeah, I need to pick up kitty litter, and I don't even know why I need to write these pages, this is so dumb, you know, like everything that's coming through. But you can start to see some of the things that are happening here. Like, first of all, it's a form of meditation right away, because it's giving us a chance to start to listen to ourselves like we want to do in any form of meditation. It's giving us a chance to become more of that observer even. And then we can even play with the idea of bringing in our non-judgment and like more like self-love approach, what we've been weaving through each day as part of the therapy with these practices and approaches. So as we're doing this blah, blah, blah on the page, we're getting to right away shift gears into, so it's a form of meditation that may be a little bit easier for some of us than just the sitting listening for some reason, because maybe it feels like an action, but it's the same medicine and power. So you're getting a chance, first of all, to just listen to yourself and just notice what is on your mind and just witness that and become more the observer. And then Julia Cameron would say that you're also getting to do kind of a brain drain where you're just kind of letting out, like, even the, like just the thoughts that are there, like the old stuff, the whatever, also to kind of like clear the slate so that your brain can be more focused and fresh and creative, it's like getting that stuff out on the page. So it's a very, you can start to see like the transformation possible just with that, like getting stuff out. And so that's another, so just through these morning pages, we're seeing some of what you can do when you take it to the page, whether you do it 3 pages straight or not. You're becoming that listener, that observer, and then beautiful if you bring in the non-judgment, and then you're becoming the, what else is it? That you also get to, it's also bringing you into the moment more, right? And it's also even bringing you into your body more, interestingly, to actually be taking your pen to the paper, especially nowadays. That's like, it almost seems like old fashioned. There's not as many of us who are actually taking a pen to paper each day. And what I love is this reminds us how writing can be such a tool, not a place to just perform, or maybe through schooling a lot of us learn to think we don't like writing, and maybe that's part of the resistance and the judgment that comes up, because we're going to like judge our writing, whether it's good or bad or right or wrong, right? Or is our spelling good, or is our handwriting good? But even that, it gives us a chance to just notice that, like, oh wow, I'm really like judging myself, or oh, that's interesting. And just all of that's part of the therapy too, to just even witness our patterns with ourselves and how we are with ourselves and how we're thinking and talking to ourselves even as we're writing. And yeah, so that's some of what just happens with that brain drain expression. And then also it can be so helpful when you are feeling upset, or especially maybe towards someone, to like write it out on the page is really a cool alchemical process that you're getting a chance to get it out and even kind of realize more what you think and feel and express it, and even just kind of let it go though energetically, because remember, it's all energy. So it's a chance for us to like work with that energy and flow that. And then what's nice too is if you feel like you want to be doing other forms of writing or any other creative stuff, this is all going to help us just be more in our flow once we go write that story, or whatever we might be working on. That this daily stuff on the page to kind of brain drain, to kind of also listen to ourselves, see what is happening with us, and even start to shift it and change it. And then we might also be writing about things that we do want and getting some clarity and getting solutions. And that's where some of the like magic of it, then you get a chance to hear your intuition more and like realize what you do know or feel or want about things. And just getting a chance to have that time with yourself, you can start to see, can be really powerful versus if you weren't. And then the writing can be, it's just a chance to do that, a place to do that, and a way to do that. And the more you're doing it, the more connected to yourself you're going to be. And that just goes with feeling better. And remember, the yoga just means connection. So we're talking about anything that reconnects you with yourself, maybe more with your heart, more with your soul. It also, we can see it's a way to connect spiritually if you like that you start to realize you're like talking to someone with your journaling. It's like, who are you talking to? So you can see maybe you're like, it's a place to be kind of talking to, whether it's just like talking to yourself and maybe more of like a heartful you, your true self, maybe your higher self, maybe your more God-like self or spiritual self. Or if you like to be, really think of it as like an entity, then you're talking to God, right? If that's how you see it, or talking to Jesus, or talking to your angels, or talking to the universe, or all of the above. Or maybe you just like to think, get into the like, you are the universe. Or so you can see there's like all sorts of spiritual connecting that can go on through journaling. Just now, we're just talking the writing 3 pages freehand each day to kind of just get it out, let it go, free it up, realize things. And then also, yeah, you get the new ideas, you get the solutions, you get the intuitive hits. And then, yeah, after you get out of the journal, you go do the things that you realize. You're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to call so-and-so. Or, ooh, I think I want to add that color to that drawing. Or, so it's really a cool part of a creative life to add this tool too, much less just it helps us feel better and, deal with our mood, mind, and mental health. But you can see if we're feeling, if it is just a cool chance for us to be with ourselves, to process the stuff, and to know that there's always going to be life challenges. So it kind of just gives us a chance to figure our stuff out, feel it out, and kind of get back in the perspectives we want to be in, even in the psychology. So it's a real chance to refocus the mind if we want to, and refocus the attention. Remember, we talked about attention is a huge tool of yoga. Presence. It's really bringing us present. It's really a practice of mindfulness too, like really getting us mindful with what we are thinking and feeling. And then there's the next fun step, that you can also, beyond just the expression and the letting stuff go and the transmutation and the alchemy and the tapping into your creative flow through doing that too, right? And the intuition and the good ideas and the spiritual guidance. But also that it's a place for like creation. A lot of teachers talk about that. We now know when you take your hand to the page and write something down, there's like a magnifying that goes on that's super fun and exciting. So we can also certainly play with our journaling as a place to do that. I kind of like to do it like I do my brain drain, let the stuff go, do my morning pages. And then I, also too, do part of this is those gratitude lists like we talked about yesterday, that doing things like that each day when I'm writing down now 10 things I'm thankful about in my life right now, and trying to come up with 10 new ones each day. Huge vibrational shift, remember we talked about. So that's where you can see you're playing with the power of your time on the page, is just really getting you focused, really shifting your vibe, really helping you embody it. And there's like a physical groundingness that's helpful, I think, especially for these times, because it's super easy to get really in our heads these days. Me too. And it doesn't feel that good, actually. It's like when we're not connected to our bodies, there's an anxiety to that. And interestingly, our bodies call us back in various ways. So it's just another way to get back in our bodies. And that would be, and of course, anything you're doing with hand to the page. I'm sure just even drawing is equally amazing. And like, I loved when I went to the King Tut exhibit recently on a homeschool field trip. That they were reminding us that the Egyptians were super into like magic and casting spells, and the awareness of what we can be doing with that, and that they had all these interesting drawings with the shapes and the symbols, and that they were literally knowing they were casting spells with their drawings, and that's why they would put them inside these tombs. And I was like, oh my God, that's so rad to realize even that you can be seeing it like that. And then the more that you even see it like that, the more it is that. So yeah, really cool, especially nowadays when a lot of us aren't at all coming to the page, for us to bring it back in a tool. Because yeah, it's like a magic tool to write out what you do want, or draw out what you do want. Huge. I should do more on the drawing part, because that's amazing. So yeah, so it's an expression place, it's a letting go place, it's in a therapy place, it's a clarity place in the journaling, right? It's also like such a creation tool that's really fun and powerful, and I love to play with more and more. And then, yeah, to know that all of this, the more that we're doing that, is also going to help us stay more in our creative flow, which, that may sound just like luxurious, but I think we're starting to see too, a lot of our mood, mind, and mental health, okay, I really believe this, is because we're not like kind of allowing our creative flow. We're maybe not, we're not letting ourselves flow those ideas that are coming through, because I think we are here to like do that. So the more that we can learn to like tap into what's coming through and learn the process of allowing it through and actually doing it. And the journaling is just a huge place to do that. Like for me and a lot of people I get to work with, and a lot of my friends who are really good at creating things and, loving their lives and feeling more happy and connected with themselves, that journaling is just a really good tool to add in that goes with all of that. So yeah, today's tool in yoga and meditation for mood, mind, and mental health is journaling. Totally a form of yoga, right? Totally a form of meditation, and a really good one for a lot of us to try and use. And it's huge therapy that you're going to do with yourself, and you're really like get to make changes and let stuff go, and and keep it private so you don't have to worry about anybody reading it, and then do what you want with them when you're done. Some people like to save them. I now will just pull out stuff that's helpful or ideas and stuff, and then kind of throw them away for the feng shui of just letting stuff go. But that's up to you. Yeah, so lots we can do with journaling. I think I got most of my ideas out, but it's an amazing tool, energy medicine that you can do to yourself, for yourself. And the more you do it like every day, especially in the magical starts of the days, yeah, powerful stuff. So let me know if there's any ways I can help you or turn you on to any resources. And yeah, super thankful to share with you this series. I'm really enjoying letting it through. Loving you all. Namaste.